All right, everybody. We have Terence Harcum and Myles Tate in for their post-game press conference after our 69-64 win over Auburn. If you ask a question, I just ask you to state your name and your affiliation, and raise your hand, and we'll go ahead and start with questions.
Myles, let's just go ahead and get this out the way. Clock's ticking down. You have the ball. What are you seeing? What gave you the confidence to go ahead and take that shot?
It's just the fact that my teammates trust me with the ball. And, you know, looking at the time, I knew I didn't want to get all the way to the rim because they got a little bit of length down there. So I can just get to my shot. And I work on that shot every day. So, I mean, just the fact that they trusted me to do it, and I just shot it and went in.
For both of you, obviously Auburn's a tough team, tough defensive team. What did you see on the court that allowed y'all to take advantage of that, seeing what opportunities you had?
They was a little over-aggressive off the ball, and I feel like we could use that against them, and it paid off tonight. So,
I just seen my teammates, and I know they can make plays. So anybody with the ball in our offense can score and make a play and pass to each other because we all believe in each other. So that's really what I was thinking about the whole time. Anybody can make a play at any moment.
Colby Shea, the Appalachian. This question's for both of you. Walk me through the feeling you had when the buzzer sounded.
Felt great, man. I like how the crowd came on the court and stormed the court because it was necessary. So it was electric in there, and appreciate all the students and fans coming out.
Same thing with Myles. Myles said, man, it was electric, man. Like a dream come true as a kid. You want to play in these type of games, and the fact that we played in it and won in it meant everything in the world. So,
David Colson, College Sports Journal. Terence, you've been in the program for a while. What does a win like this mean to you, and what does it do for your program?
It means a lot. I mean, it's a big win, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's still a win. So tomorrow we got to flip the page and on to the next team. So, but it's a great win for the program. Great win.
What was the feeling in preparation for this game? What were you guys feeling as you came into this game in terms of how you could compete against Auburn?
Well, for us, we're going to play App State basketball no matter who we playing. But the prep was a little different because of the way they play, and it was a little different for us. But props to us for my teammates and the coaches for putting together a great game plan. And the way we trust the coaches, we just go out there and execute it.
Zach Smith with High Country Sports. What going into halftime, you're up by 2. What's the conversation in the locker room before you come back out for the second?
Keep going, keep pushing, keep playing hard, and play harder than them, and limit their rebounds because they was getting on the offensive glass a little bit. But if we can limit their rebounds and play harder than them, then we're gonna be in good shape.
Like Myles said, man, just 20 more minutes to play. Just please, just play your butt off in a sense. And that's all we was preaching in the locker room, just play your butt off, 20 more minutes. So.
You guys had just 7 turnovers as a team. What's kind of the work that goes into playing that clean of a game, especially against a team like Auburn?
I say shout out to the scout team because in practice they playing their butt off, turning us over to get ready to play Auburn because they're an aggressive team. And we seen that all week. They taking our ball, they deflection. Even the coaches in there playing a little bit. So I give the credit to them for preparing us for that.
I was second that. Scout team did a really good job this past week of preparing us for Auburn, and it showed. So.
For either one of you guys, Brett Strelo, App State Athletics. With the big crowd here, you guys fall down, 8 or 9 points early. How did you not let that moment get too big and to recover from that and kind of get back in the flow of the game?
It's a basketball game. It's a game of runs. We're going to go on runs. The other team is going to go on runs, and at the end of the day, we have to stay composed and fight to get the league back. So.
We knew it was going to be a fight, and if we got up early or they got up early, the game wasn't nearly going to be over at all. So we knew we had to fight, and we knew it was going to be a dogfight.
Whether it was at any point in the game or when you're on the floor with all the students on the court, were you able to kind of look around and soak any of that scene in and kind of really get to enjoy it?
Yeah, I try to soak it in, like right before the tip-off comes. I just look around and just soak in the moment, and then after that it's game time. But after the buzzer sound, then I kind of did it again, and by the time I know it, everybody was on the court.
All right, Nick Goodman with App TV. So you held a team that was averaging 80 points a game to 64 for this matchup. What did you do defensively to slow Auburn down?
just play App State defense. That's really what it came down to. I feel like we're a really good defensive team, and it showed tonight. And shout out to Coach Zork for getting us right on the defensive end.
Noah Cornelius, App TV as well. They said that this game was a sold-out crowd, one of the biggest and honestly quite possibly the biggest game in App State basketball history. You guys are both from the Carolinas. What does it mean? What do you think it means to the high country to have this turnout for your program, and what do you think it means for the future of App State basketball?
It means everything, man. I'm glad that the town, the people, and the fans were able to come to the game, and moving forward, that's going to help put more people in the seats for us. So that was big for us.
Yeah, just like Terence said, like it's big for us as a program, and we appreciate everybody who came, and we hope it's gonna be like that more. Just coming up in the season and even in the future years, like I wanted to keep going just like that.
Any other questions for Myles and Terence?
Hey Terence, this is Patrick McCormick from the Watauga Democrat. On your three-pointer during the big run midway through the second, what was that feeling like to hear the thousands of fans cheering for you after you guys built that 8-point lead?
Man, it was a great feeling, man. It was a huge bucket. Shout out to my teammates for getting me the ball and finding me when I was open, and it was surreal, man. It was a great moment. Just feeling the energy of the crowd. It was great.
Any other questions for Myles and Terence? All right, thank you guys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
We'll be back in shortly with Coach Kerns. All right, everybody, we got Coach Dustin Kerns here on the mic. We're going to let him start with an opening statement, and then we'll move into questions.
Yeah, well, my opening statement is, how about the Mountaineers? All right. Just a great day for our program, university. So just so proud of our players. They've got a really good team. All right, they will be in the top 25 here in a couple weeks. But I thought, we led for 27 minutes. I thought that we deserved to win the game. I really thought we outplayed them. We made the big plays when we needed to make them, and just so proud of our guys. And I thought that, when you have a great crowd like we had, which thanks for everybody that came, that can do one of two things. It can really raise the level of your team, and it can hurt the other team, and I thought it did both. And so really, really thankful for all the people that came out to be a part of this moment. The Michigan game was a moment for App State football. Maybe this was our moment. And but a big moment on national TV and celebrated by a lot of people.
All right, now we'll move into questions. I just asked you to say your name and affiliation and go ahead and fire away.
Peyton Ash, Watauga Democrat. App State stuns Auburn. What does this win mean to you and your program?
Well, it's huge, right? I think that when we got here 5 years ago, this was the vision. I remember telling Doug Gillen, who I'm thankful for, we're going to take the tarp off the top and we're going to fill this place. And it took 5 years, but we did it, right? But we've had moments, we've had steps, stairs. This was another big stair. Getting a game at home on national television, winning it, beating an SEC team, a good SEC team. They were in the Final Four a few years ago. They're getting votes for the top 25. They've got one loss. They got two losses, but their only loss coming in was against number 10 Baylor on a neutral court. And so it's a big moment. Just so proud of our players that they get to experience this. When I got here, too, and I was speaking to the students, I told them they get one court rush. And from then on, it's expected, right? And so they got their court rush.
Colby Shea, the Appalachian. After today, do you envision more Power 5 schools scheduling to come to Boone, or do you think you've scared them away?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, I credit Coach Pearl for, he was a mid-major coach. He's done this with other schools, and he wants his team to go experience a true road game. And I don't know if exactly, I think this is their only true road game in the non-conference. And so credit him for that. I'd love for other teams to come up and and play. But I don't know. I think that it takes a coach to be able to go on the road to a place like ours, and he did it. So.
All right, Nick Goodman, App TV. Myles Tate made several important plays down the stretch. Can you talk about how important he was late in the game?
Yeah, he's huge. Just from a ball handling standpoint, I thought he did a really good job on Holloway as well. Outside of that one foul, the 3-point, I thought he did an outstanding job. He made some massive shots, not to mention, some big free throws. Obviously, he got fouled 7 times. But, yeah, he was huge. And I think that's the strength of our team. Justin absent in foul trouble. We've got different people. We're consistently playing people, no one less than 15, 16 minutes, and no one more than 30. And so that's part of our strength right now is if we've got somebody in foul trouble, somebody else is stepping right up and making a play. I thought Jordan Marsh had big minutes. Thought C.J. Huntley was outstanding. Terence Harcum made a huge shot. He did a great job defensively too. Trayvon, Donovan Gregory made some big winning plays. But when we needed to get big stops, we got them, and we needed to make a big shot, we got them too. They threw us a curveball there in the second half and went zone, and then they started going zone to man, and it just kind of got us out of rhythm a little bit. But then I actually don't remember what happened, but I know we made a big play and got out of it.
Noah Cornelius, App TV coach. It feels like I've asked you this question so many times throughout the season. What does this program mean to High Country? But in a game that was sold out and even had a sea of orange in it, what does this mean for the future of not just your program, but for App State basketball in the High Country? Yeah, I think it's going to be I told our team before the game, we can make this day live forever. And we did. There's going to be pictures of this game. There's going to be videos of this game. There's going to be on highlight reels for the next so many years, right? Like, this is a huge moment for this particular building, the home center, right? Like, there's a lot of firsts today, and but I think we're just getting started, and I think that's what I hopefully feel like the students and our fans see too. Hopefully they came today and, I want to come next week. It doesn't matter now. App State's playing. And I think that's where our football team's been beneficial is they get this type of environment, home atmosphere, every game because App State's playing. App State's playing on Tuesday. This can happen more often. These kind of wins because of the environment really helped us today. It was massive. And so it doesn't matter who we're playing. We don't have to be playing at Auburn. There's some massive games coming up in Sun Belt. These moments can continue to happen. Thanks, Coach.
Dustin, there have been a lot of times where there have been good crowds, maybe not the size of the crowd today, and App has had these kind of tendencies over the last decade to not take advantage of that when there's a big crowd here to get exposed to App basketball. What's it mean for you guys to seal the deal today and have a result like you did today?
Yeah, I just think, and we did take advantage of it today. And like I said, it did two things. It rose the level of our guys, and it hurt them. And so, I think everybody had a pretty good time, right? It was just a great day for App State University, with the nation seeing App State basketball on national television at home for the first time ever. That's a big stare. And then to follow it up and play really well and win, right, is another big stare. And so, like I said, I think every program has their moments. Maybe this was one of our big moments that really propels us to have more of these type moments.
Coach, Brett Strelo, just taking in that scene, maybe you're not able to do that until the final buzzer's off, but were you able to kind of enjoy that moment and get out of a basketball coach's mind a little bit? And is there a visual that you'll kind of take away from what you saw out courtside?
When I met with Doug Gillen, when I was interviewing here, he asked me, how are you going to change the perception of App State basketball? And he believed that I was the guy to do it. And it's been a lot of work by a lot of people. And I definitely think this perception of App State basketball has officially changed. But I'll remember that court storming for a long time. Because I really wanted that moment for our players. And they got it.
I mean, there are pictures around this building of the North Carolina game. You see pictures of the Davidson appearance here. Just, you talked about this could be a day that lives forever. I mean, have you thought about just what that could be like with, your guys being part of something?
I haven't really got that far yet. But, I'm excited to see where it goes.
Just one last one for me. With the big crowd, Auburn gets up 8 or 9 or whatever it was in the first half. What were keys for your guys to respond like that, to get back in the game, get the crowd back in the game?
So part of our game plan was to really not go in and take quick shots and challenge their size and vertical at the rim. And we got out of character one time, and it sparked a run for them. They were unbelievable at capitalizing off moments like that. And I usually don't call quick timeouts like that in the first half. I like to save them, because of the end of the games, right? But that was a quick timeout. Hey, listen, we all got to learn from that. We've been working on that for 2 days, and our guys never did it again. And it was a big part of it. If you go down against them and you take a quick shot and you try to challenge them at the rim, they are going to make you pay for it. And they made us pay for it for about 7 points, because it kind of escalates. But that was a timeout. Everybody, we're in good shape. We know we can't have those moments, and everybody saw it, and we didn't do it again.
Coach Zach Smith, High Country Sports. I've just got one. You won 5 in a row now. Conference play is still a few weeks away, but how are you starting to feel going into that portion of the schedule?
Oh, so I'm not even. We've got one on Tuesday. We've got a big game in Charlotte against Queens. We've got Gardner Webb in Greensboro, who just beat undefeated Western Carolina. We've got UNC Asheville, who's picked to win their league. In Hickory in a big game we need to sell out as well. But I'm not going to coach talk you like I'm not even thinking about the Sun Belt play. I know James Madison's off to a great start. They're undefeated. They're ranked. Sun Belt's going to be really good. But we've got some more work to do here in the non-conference.
Coach Patrick McCormick, the Watauga Democrat, kind of piggybacking off of that, how critical was it to play against a team that has players like Janai Broome, and you had 14 lead changes in this game, like to really test your guys heading into the rest of the season?
Yeah, Broome he's an All-American, right? He just came off a game against Virginia Tech where he had 30 and 13, right? Now, for us, he had 21 and 13, right? We wanted to make his shots difficult. We wanted to really foul him hard, not give him anything easy, and he ended up going 1 for 7 for the free throw line. So that was a big thing for us that we were able to execute. But we knew he was going to get shots, and it's you can kind of pick your poison. If you double team him, he's going to kick it out, and they're going to get wide open threes. And that was something where we really didn't want to do, because we knew he was going to get his, and then you can't give up both. Now they went 3 for 27 for 3, so that worked. But 7 lead changes, 7 ties. I thought it was a great back and forth game, but I thought that once again, I think that we outplayed them. We earned the win, and against a really good team. They played well, and they're going to win a bunch of games. And like I said, to this point in their schedule, they beat Notre Dame by 20. They beat Virginia Tech by 20. They've been really good, but I thought that I told our team last night in our walkthrough, we beat UNC Wilmington by 30. They go to Rupp Arena and beat number 12 Kentucky. So, because I felt some nervousness. I felt some, I told our guys this week, hey, listen, guys, I'm not going to coach talk you, okay? Like, this is not another game. I can sit up here and say this is another game. It's not another game. And so our preparation and our routine will be the same, but this is not just another game. But I also told our guys last night, like, trying to get them to believe and instill confidence, like, hey, UNC Wilmington beating Kentucky on the road just confirms that we've got a good team, And so I thought, again, today we just confirmed that we've got a really good team.
Any other questions for Coach Kerns?
Thanks. Go Mountaineers, take the stairs.